Hello, everybody. Good evening, and welcome to our expert session on iNaturalist species identification. So, I am Anukriti, project coordinator for the Asia Nature Challenge, and today we are thrilled to have Debashis Chowdhury, ranked 11th in all of Asia with over 150,000 identifications, with us today. So, as we enter the critical identification phase of the ANC, your role in identifying species is more important than ever. So, on that note, today's session is all about identification on iNaturalist. Debashish will walk us through effective identification techniques. He'll also share some tips on working with iNaturalist and how we can all contribute to improving the quality of the data that we are gathering. So, whether you're new to the process or you have been identifying species for a while, there's something valuable in this session for everybody. And once again, thank you all for your dedication to this challenge. So, let's dive right in and learn from one of the best in the field. Let's turn it over to Debashish. Over to you, sir.
Hello. Good evening, everybody. Are you audible?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
yes, we can.
Okay. Okay. So, our topic of discussion for today is how to identify on INET. Uh, Before identification, everything starts from the observation. Actually, in INET, observation is the prime thing, and the identification is the next part. So, observing observation. Can I come to that observation page of this presentation? This is a brief introduction about this, and then move on to the next slide. Uh, this is something important as well. This is about iNaturalist and what is not expected from it. So this is one. This one is important, uh, particularly when some students are involved. We have seen from our experience that during the City Nature Challenge, etc., a lot of schools and students they are getting involved, but uh, no proper guidance or like that. So what happens? A lot of junks are created unknowingly by them. So that is the main objective here. INAT might seem like the perfect blend of science and mobile technology, but too often it gets misused in the classroom despite the best of intentions. As a result, INAT gets a flood of poor observation, copyright violations, and offensive content. And often the students participating don't have a good experience to get much out of it. So that is the reason why iNaturalist works best when people want to use it, not when they're required to use it. So uh, observation part is very important. Sometimes we have seen people are downloading images from internet and posting as their own. A lot of copyright violations are happening. But only thing, because students are so much of pumped up that they think as much as they post, they will be getting more marks kind of thing. So that is not the purpose of this. So to improve data quality, we have to start from the observation part. So observation has to be properly made and posted in iNaturalist. So please move on to the next slide. What is observation? So observations are the basic units of iNaturalist. An observation records an encounter with an individual organism or recent evidence of an organism at a particular time and location. This includes encounters with signs of organism like tracks, nests, scat, or things just died. A died bug may be an observation, like a leaf miner uh, bored through a leaf, so that mark can be captured and posted for identification or as an observation. iNaturalist provides a place to add this information along with associated text, photos, and tags. It should be kept in mind that separate observations for each separate organism has to be uh, made. If multiple pictures of the same organism are taken, then they have to be combined as a single observation. Particularly if somebody clicks a tree today and after few days he goes back to the place again and finds that it is blooming, so he might get interested to click it again. So in that case it will be uh, a separate observation, although it is the same tree. Even on the following day, if he goes back to the same place and clicks the same tree, it will be a different observation. So, likewise, this way, observation has to be carefully made. So, please let us move on to the next slide. Organisms, organisms, everything living around us, like we humans, like there are plants, mammals, birds, insects, worms, fungi, everything. So, please go to the next slide. Uploading. So, uploading is another important aspect. It has to be carefully done. Photos or sound attached to observation should include evidence of the actual organism at the time of the observation, observed by the user who is uploading the observation. Media used in your iNaturalist observation should represent your own experiences, not just examples of something similar to what you saw. Please do not upload photos you found elsewhere, such as online or in a book, since they don't represent your own experiences and are probably a violation of copyright. Like that, all these are explained in the INAT itself. These are available as resource in the INAT website. So please follow whoever is not conversant with these things or has come to this platform recently. So they should keep in mind that observing media is very important. And with this comes those important things like date and time of the capture, like coordinates. Nowadays, if observations are made with the mobile phone, so they capture precise locations. If your GPS location is set to precise mode, so it gives. Personally, I have seen these smartphones are giving uh, exact locations to be precise. So these are very good. When you are doing with camera, if the camera is having the GPS facility, so it will give you the coordinates. Otherwise, uh, you have to think the place and you have to give in that case. Thing is that the accuracy will not be accuracy is important and it will not be precise actually. So a broad like a diameter of 100 meter, 500 meter, sometimes 1 kilometer. If you have gone to a jungle, you know the broad area, so you have to just find out the jungle and more or less fix. You can fix it. The accuracy it can be set to 100 meter, 1 kilometer, anything you like. So the level of comfort is important. So that is an important part. So please move on to the next slide. Now we are coming to identification. Identification is an assessment of the type of animal, plant, or other organism that was observed. Any living thing, or the sign of living thing, like a group of deer has passed through a forest track. So their hoof mark can be a observation. So from the tigers, experts can figure out tiger and its age. species with the pug marks. So that is very important. This way, let's come to the identification. Yeah. So our identification begins with the observer himself. When observer uploads one observation, the computer vision is there to help him. Otherwise, if he knows about the organism, he can give his identification. Like, even if he knows it a tiger, but which species he doesn't know, so in that case he can just put tiger. He knows it as butterfly, so that is fine. He doesn't know what is it, but he is confident that it is an insect, so he can mark it as an insect. For plant, doesn't know anything, so a broad idea like plant will do, will be fine. So in that way, I don't know what species of bird is it, so I can put birds. But even though these facilities are available and the computer vision is available, some people fail to put any identification. Those things are uploaded as unknown observations. So the community people starts take up these observations and start uh, observing or putting their IDs. Like, I don't know anything about say fungus. So I will give a fungus including lichens. That much is sufficient. So it will go to those people who are interested in uh, fungus. This way I can channelize anything I don't know, but I know the broad category, so I can channelize those observations to those people who are interested about that particular taxa. So and from there on, other people, the community gets involved, and based upon their expertise, they will put their identification, and up to the level they are comfortable in. So this way we can start identification, the very beginning of the identification process in iNaturalist. So please move on to the next slide. Adding identification at a taxonomical level. Add identification at a taxonomic level that you are confident of and that is supported by the evidence provided in the observation. So this is quite important. For example, if based on the evidence in the observation, you think it could be either a three-striped palm squirrel or a five-striped palm squirrel, but you are not quite sure, or evidence isn't clear enough, you should add an identification. You can add identification of palm squirrels, that is the genus of Funambulus. So this three-striped palm squirrel, it is mainly observed in the peninsular India, whereas the five-stripe from the northern part of the peninsula to the rest of the India. So this way, there is a geographical separation, although there is some intermingling area where both these species occur. So in case of any doubt, if somebody is in a doubt, he can give broad ID like genus palm squirrels, genus up to the genus level. So let us move to the next slide. Yourself sure about the ID. You should be able to independently confirm your identification and be able to defend and explain it, citing evidence if asked. So you are giving some identification, but you are not confident about it. So the community may ask you why you think so. In that case, you need to explain it. These things happen very politely. Normally, the regular ideas, they regularly exchange their views, and the disagreements also happens with politeness and courtesy. So that is an important part. Uh, in this case, you have to keep in mind, please do not rely solely on AI tools like iNaturalist's computer vision solutions or Marlin Bard ID and the sort of these AI things. So these tools are in many cases helpful, but they should not be the sole basis of your identification. I have seen personally that computer vision suggestions work fine for dragonflies, that is Odonata as a whole, dragonflies and damselflies in India. So I have checked these these IDs provided by suggested by the computer vision, mostly accurate. But when it comes to butterflies, it's so-so. Sometimes it provides good ideas, sometimes totally different ideas. And for plants, it is very uncertain. Sometimes it gives good idea, but in the majority of the cases, it is unable to provide the good result. And it is mostly because it has not learned enough. So, as the human experts or these identifiers confirm the species, these observations are then learned by these identifications are learned by the machine, and it improves its skill. So that is the general idea about it. So let's go to the other part. If you agree with the idea without actually knowing the taxon, it may reach reserve you erroneously. So it happens. Recently, I came across one observation where one particular butterfly, I found one about 4 or 5 years back. It was observed and it was confirmed as Great J. So when I reviewed, uh, it turned out to be a common J. So I changed it. I just put my observation, identification, and thereafter shared with one of the ideas, regular ideas. I shared with him and sought his opinion, and he also confirmed it as common J. So this way, while we review, we sometimes find that it was blindly agreed once upon a time, and it is lying as research grade observation. So it is actually detrimental to iNaturalist's overall data quality. Again, don't use the agree button as a form of acknowledgement or gratitude. It happens to somebody that his friend has posted something. It's the habit of Facebook. It is just that I have seen it, so he just agrees it without actually knowing what it is about. So in that way, a bad ID is given, and sometimes it reaches research grade because others might have overlooked it, so it will lie there as research grade, although the identification is not correct. If you disagree with an identification, the best thing to do is to add an identification of your own. It's helpful to provide a reason for disagreement in a comment. So when you disagree, you just give the reason for which you think it is not the ID given by the other ideas or the observer himself. That is the main thing. So please move on to the next slide. Opting out of community IDs. Some people, for many reasons, it might be that they are very confident about their own ID, or they just don't want to. uh, give importance to others' idea, whatever the reason may be, they opt out of community ID. So whatever ID they put, and others may agree or disagree, it will it will not change his ID. So the observation will bear the ID provided the ID community ID. So in this case, when the community agrees this identification, it reaches to the research. But when the community disagrees, or the significant number of identifiers from the community disagrees to the to the observer's ID, but still it will remain as the observer. It will show INET will show the observer's ID because he has opted out from the community tax. So it will be then treated as a casual observation. So that is the thing. However, note that observation will become casual grade if observer has opted out from the community ID and community ID taxon is not an ancestor or descendant of the taxon associated with this observer ID. Uh, Move forward. The type of IDs: leading IDs, improving IDs, supporting IDs, maverick IDs. Leading IDs, uh, it is descending from the community taxon. This identification could be leading towards the right answer. Improving: first suggestion of this taxon that the community subsequently agreed with. This identification helped define the community taxon. Supporting is very easy. If you are confident with the uh, identification provided initially, so you can agree to it. That will be a supporting ID. And maverick, when majority of the the identifier agreed to certain taxon, but you do not agree with them, then you will become a maverick. Taxon is not a descendant or ancestor of the community taxon. The community does not agree with this identification. In my case, I have seen uh, three identification I found wrong, but when I put my identification, I at that very moment I become a maverick because majority of the community agreed to the identification which I disagreed. So unless they change their ID to the correct one, or somebody else comes and uh, disagrees to the original IDs, and the level reaches up to two-thirds, then only it can become research. Please move on to the next slide. This is about community taxon. Community taxon or community identification represents what taxon the identification community thinks is depicted in an observation. In general, we try to choose a taxon that more than two-thirds of the identifiers agrees with. Each observation with at least two active identifications has a community taxon. The thing I described just now. Sometimes this means choosing a higher level taxon that contains a number of disagreeing taxa. For example, you think it's a Russell viper, and I think it's a common sandboa, which is often mistaken in India. So INET chooses the suborder Serpentes, which is for the snakes. The algorithm also slightly favors descent because it has been found that dissenters are often correct. Not always, but more often than not, dissenters are correct. Dissenting is a difficult task. So that's why majority people resort to agree. So let's move on to the next. Research grade observation. A research grade observation must have, among other criteria, a community taxon. If an observation has only one identification, it won't have a community taxon. All observations with at least one identification will also have an observation taxon. The observation taxon iNaturalist uses when sharing observation with data partners. Linking observation of the same taxon on the site, updating your life list, etc. In most cases, observation taxon will eventually be set to the community taxon, but sometimes they will differ, especially before the community has settled on identification. For example, if you think it's a snake, that is suborder Serpentis, and I think it's a sandboa, genus Erex. The observation taxon will be at sandboas, supported by my identifications only, although the community taxon will be at Serpentis. Because it has up to that level only, it has been supported by two identifications. We can, while discussion part, we can elaborate this if somebody requires any explanation. Please move on to the next slide. Identification of observation involving multiple texts. So sometimes the question is like that: can I identify multiple taxa per observation? What if my photo has a flower and a beautiful butterfly? A butterfly is nectaring on a flower. So somebody posts it and doesn't give the basic ID or the ID he seeks. He might be interested in seeking the ID for the flower or the otherwise, that is the beautiful butterfly. So this actually qualifies for two different observations, one for the flower and the other one for the butterfly. So if the observation is initially posted for the flower, not the butterfly, so that is fine. The observer, while posting this, he can note down that the observation is for the flower and seek the ID of the flower. Or thereafter, he can duplicate this observation. This facility is available both in the web version as well as the Android version in mobile. So they can duplicate it and post it for the butterfly also. By mentioning in the note, it's better if they post. If they know the ID, at least the basic ID, just with the initial ID butterfly, then it's okay. But without any ID, when they load it, they at least should mention in the note that the observation is for the butterfly. This way, the identifier will get to know that this observation has been made for the butterfly. So, but the main question, uh, can we identify both? No, iNaturalist allows only one taxon at one place and time. So for this, uh, we just suggesting that two observations be made so that both the observations are separated and identified separately. So in case you see, if you see an observation that has two or more photos depicting different organisms in each, it's best to make a comment politely, asking the user to separate the photos into different observation, or you can vote no in the data quality assessment. There is one item, evidence related to a single subject. So because iNaturalist encourages and mandated one taxon at a time, at a place at a time. So the evidence related to a single subject, you can downvote it. That is, you can say no. And remember, when the observer makes the necessary corrections, that is by deleting one of the organism and posting it separately. So that time, don't forget to go back and delete your this data quality assessment initially made. So you have to nullify that. Let us move to the next point. So summary to the way to research grade. So on iNaturalist, even if you start with a course identification, which I all along mentioned, like plants, insects, this way, without specifying the exact species, the observation can still progress to research grade through community engagement and verification. So how it happens? Initial observation with basic ID, the ID you provided, so that is the basic ID. A user may upload a photo of an organism categorizing it broadly as a plant, that is, without knowing its specific species. This observation enters the needs ID pool. Then comes community expertise. Other users with expertise in the taxonomic group can review the observation. For example, if the organism is broadly labeled as a fungus, a mycologist might narrow it down to a genus or species. Multiple confirmations. Once a species or genus is suggested by one or more knowledgeable users, others from the community confirm or refine the identification. If the consensus is that the identification is correct, the observation is upgraded to research. All these have been told before. So, research grade status. This status means the observation has accurate metadata, that is photo, location, date, time, etc., and has been reviewed and confirmed by multiple users. It is then launched, included in global biodiversity datasets such as GBIF, contributing to scientific research and conservation efforts. Let us go to some examples in the next slide. Example 1. The observer initially uploaded one photo of a butterfly under butterflies. He has given the ID as butterflies, and which is very fine. Now, some expert input happens. One user from the community identifies it as Danaus cruciferus, that is plain tiger butterfly, and some other users also agree to it. So it is elevated to research grade. With confirmations from the community, the observation research reaches research grade and contributes to scientific research and conservation efforts. Now the situation 2, example 2. Initial upload like the earlier one, butterflies. Now one of the users puts as, as a plain tiger butterfly like before. Now some other expert from the community disagrees and identifies it as Hypolymbus missipus, that is Danide eggfly female. They are looking alike. They are very much similar. Of course, there are certain differences. So, and this ID, some other users who are conversant with this, agrees to. So, it reaches to research grade. So, if the second person, that is the person who first mentioned it as plain tiger, he doesn't withdraw. He doesn't withdraw his ID. So in that case, with two disagreeing IDs, it will not reach to the research grade, as because it needs two-third of the two-third in favor of the taxon. So another at least 3% has to disagree, or the initial one has to withdraw or agree to the denied fly identification. By that way, it will reach to research group. And this is very, from my experience, I can tell it is very common. This plain tiger butterfly and denied fly female are often mistaken, and this is one of the major these things. your disagreement are seen over this, and for valid reasons. Okay, next, please move on to the next slide. Some identification etiquettes are available in the iNaturalist. So that is a link is provided. Anybody interested can browse through it and read in detail. So there are certain etiquettes uh, which so that is it. Okay, please go to the next part, and we have finished this part, this presentation.
So I think now Ashwin is sharing the case studies examples, right, sir?
Yes. This is a butterfly posted as just show it. Somebody posted it as Lepidoptera, which is very fine. That is butterfly that includes butterflies and moths. It is the initial idea. Now another idea he gives this ID, he refines it up to the genus level. That is genus Athina, which is generally for the Lamentidae, admirals and allies. It is called in common. And then another ID comes as Athena Ranga, which is for backvein sergeant. It is not yet confirmed by other from the community. So it is at this stage leading ID. Though Ajay Lives has given it as improving ID, and myself has given as leading ID. So this is one of the examples how the processes goes. Here, it is a very recent. I think yesterday it was posted, and this morning or yesterday night I have posted it, but it is yet to be confirmed by others or disagreed by the others. So please move on to the next link of observation. I have discussed this. Uh, this is often happening here with this species. Actually, this was posted from Kolkata, and generally we don't see three striped palm squirrels from this place. And from the evidence provided in the photograph, it is also appearing that it may not be three striped. So I have put it as five striped palm squirrel. And somebody else from the community has supported. So it is still not research grade. Someone else has to confirm it. Otherwise, the original observer has to change it or withdraw his own observation or identification. So this is very common. Interesting also. And please show the this INET INET part. Please go up. Uh, please go up. See, genus Funambulus up to that level, which I talked about. So when somebody says three stripe and somebody says five stripe, so it goes to the next upper level and settles at Funambulus, genus Funambulus. So it is lying up to genus Funambulus unless somebody else confirms it. Please move on to the next link. This is a this is an observation from 2010, and it was posted in iNaturalist on October 5, 2019. So about 5 years back. And initially it was, please come to below the identification here. So it was posted as Graphium uripilus, that is grade J. And somebody supported this ID and it was lying as grade J. While reviewing, it was found to be incorrect. And accordingly, new ID was given with the justification. That is, for Graphium dorsum, which is for common J, leading edge red centered bar on UNH, not joined to dark basal band, and cell end is brown. With justification, it was disagreed. And then one from the community and the original, this one, original observer has supported. So since one observer is still disagreeing, I mean, he has not withdrawn or corrected his ID, so it is still not research grade. It is lying as graphium only. Oh, no, it has reached to okay. It has reached to research grade because three, actually, 3:1, correct. So just show the this part, this research grade bar, that is community agreement 2/3, that bar. Please come to the down part. Here. Community taxon, Graphium dorsum. Please see that cumulative IDs 3 or 4 agreeing towards Graphium dorsum. So it is settled at Graphium dorsum and it is elevated to research grade. This community taxon is important here, this part. From here you can visually see that it has crossed the 2/3 mark for reaching to research grade. Next link, please.
I have shared
This
next
one,
one.
this is lemon emigrant. This comes slowly to reach. Initially, it was posted as mottled emigrant, Catopsilia pyranthi. But someone had a doubt, so he just posted one comment and tagged someone from the community to confirm. In the meantime, someone else has disagreed already. And then the person who was tagged, he responded that I don't think there are any mottles, and I see that ID has changed now. But let's get another set of eyes. So he marked to me. So I also commented that there is no mottles. Accordingly, I also put my ID as lemon immigrant. Subsequently, it was supported by the other from the community, and eventually it reached to research grade. So this is a flowchart of the entire process happened with an ID. This way, ID is discussed, ID is shared and confirmed also. This is also an interesting one, Ceylon Blue Glassy Tiger. So it was posted initially as dark blue tiger, which is pretty common in that area from where it was posted. And it was initially agreed by someone from the community, but later on, some Someone from the community disagreed and he marked to others, and later on, the ID settled at this Idiopsis similis. Lot of discussions happened, some sharing of information happened here. All these are very interesting. Whoever is interested, they may go back and check this. Please move on to the next part. And the person, in the meantime, somebody else has disagreed, disagreed, and he is lying as Maveri. Anyway, okay, let us take up this one. Common J, Graphium dorsum. It was posted as genus Sortel. Later on, it was ID'd by someone as grade J. Then it was marked to be, and in the meantime, some supporting ID came. Then I changed it to common J. I put my ID, and later on, just citing the reasons, and eventually it settled at Graphium dorsum, that is common J. So all the discussions are there, and eventually this take this it has reached to. This is common rose swallowtail, Pachyoptera aristology. So same way, it was posted as swordtail, that is subfamily level, and then it was ID'd by someone as common rose. Then others supported. Please move on. In the meantime, somebody else thought it was a common Mormon, that is Papiliopolites, and he is still lying as Maverick. Lot of discussions like before, it happened here, and it is finally settled with overwhelming majority as common rose. This one, in some cases, the community takes long time to reach at consensus, or sometimes it is not possible to reach at consensus. Like this one, it was posted as common fibering. It was disagreed by someone, and then some discussions happened. And although it was after discussion, everybody thought it to be five ring, but nobody is still confident to change or put it as Baldus, that is common five ring. So it is lying as this thema only. The community is not decided, so it is lying at the genus level. So this way also thing goes. Sometimes either ID, precise species level ID is not possible, and sometimes it takes long time to reach at species level. Any more slide? Any more link left?
No, sir. I think you
Acha,
can now give
acha.
a demo about how to do identification, and then people can ask if they have any questions.
Acha, okay, okay, fine. So shall I come to the identification page first? This unknown part or what?
Yes, sir. You can share your screen and
Acha, okay.
show them how to reach to that page. While sir is sharing his screen, to all the participants, you can be ready with your questions. So after this demo, you'll get a chance to ask him any questions you may have.
The screen is
Yes, sir.
visible now.
Yes, sir. We can see.
Sure. Let me refresh it. Something might have been added by this time. So this is the page of observation without any ID, without any initial ID. So let us try this one. Uh, it is difficult to understand what is the intention of the uh, observer because he has not mentioned anything in the note. It could be for the tree or the moss, or it could be for the lichens with the white part. So it could be anything. It is not specified. Here it is somewhat visible for the mosses, I think, or maybe something else is there. What is this? Some bug, beetle, maybe. So anyway, it is difficult to guess. Better to leave it unless he gives some input. It is difficult. Otherwise, I have to ask him to mention his intention. To this is something planned. I'm not familiar with. This way, I will move. Normally, I do observation for butterflies. So let me find out whether I get some butterfly for identification.
So you can also show them high-level text up, like just mentioning plants or animals or
Ha ha ha.
spiders.
With a single species, it will be better. See this one. Let me let me just open it. Here. Is it visible now? No? The butterfly. It's a
Yes, yes.
butterfly. Acha. I have to open a separate tab. It has to be shared
No, no, sir.
separately.
It is shared right now. You can just keep opening here itself, and we are able to
Can
see
you
it.
see it now?
Yes, yes, we can see it.
The new tab. New tab.
No,
Okay.
no, no, no,
So
no, no, not now. You can come back to the previous tab, and we are able to see it there.
okay. 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 Come back there and share. New share. So this one I have to share. This. Yeah. Is
Yes.
it visible now? Okay.
Yeah.
So nothing is there. No initial ID. So let me try with AI. It is showing us, we are pretty sure this is in the genus lacewing butterflies. So lacewing is having genus Cethosia. There are two Cethosia butterflies that occur in India, generally two in this part, that is Himalayan the region. There are other Cethosias also, but not in this region. There are two. So red lacewing and leopard lacewing. So from my experience, I know it is red lacewing. I put it as red lacewing and ID. So this has become the initial ID now. It is leading, and there are other things associated with identification. You can put annotations like it is evident that the butterfly was living when it was clicked. So I can mark it as alive. Now evidence of presence. It is organism. There are a lot of things listed here: construction, egg, gall, leaf mine, etc., etc. But here it is organism and life stage. All butterflies are adult butterflies. At the when they mature as butterfly, they become adult. They pass their larval stage and their pupa stage, then they reach their adulthood. So it is adult. So this way we can annotate. This is another part of the observation job. But it is not always practiced by everybody, but there are certain ideas who meticulously do it, and they do it for the community. Yes, it is very good when they serve a very good purpose. So this is it. Another one. Acha, let me share again. This is another one. It appears that it is a fungus. So there.
So you can share your entire screen. In that case, you will not have to switch. Like you can,
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
Okay. Okay. That's a good option, no? Okay.
yeah.
Fine. Screen. Correct. Entire screen. Identify page. It is visible now, no?
Yes.
Acha. Now this one. This is. Let me try with the computer vision. It is suggesting a lot of things, but with the mention that we are not confident enough to make a recommendation, but here are our top suggestions. These are all species level things which I am not familiar with, or I'm not confident in giving any ID to it, but I know that it might be a fungus. So, fungus including lichen, is that fungus including fungi including lichens. So, this option I can select and make the ID. So, it will be visible to those people who are doing IDs for the fungi. Another way you can help any observation posted without ID, without initial ID, to reach its uh, experts, experts who are dealing with those organisms. Same with this one. Acha, let me check this one. It is a tree with fruit. Does anyone have any idea about this fruit? I don't have any idea about this. Anybody is familiar with? He can suggest any. He or she can suggest any idea. Let's check with the computer vision. Computer is not confident, but suggesting some ideas. All these are listed, but I don't know anything. So I can give a either I can give plant, otherwise I can give angios flowering plants. This way I can put
So it is cluster fig.
Does it appear to be fig? The leaves are not looking like figs, to me at least.
No,
Please say.
the figs are there. Those brown color figs are there. Leaf is also same.
Acha.
These
Maybe.
comes on the branches as well as a trunk also.
Okay. Okay. I see. Acha. Acha. Those leaves in the background might be of other trees.
No,
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
the
fine.
possible.
So you can rectify, you can refine it to fig, that ficus. I have
yes,
given it to this level, and you can, if you are in iNaturalist, you can put your ID right now. So this way, it will be an improving ID. So this is for demonstration. This up to the level you can cooperate with an unidentified an observation without initial ID. You can channelize it to the people who are familiar with this taxa. Okay, so this way you can progress. Acha. Do I need some other thing with initial ID?
Yeah, you can just search for
Do you have
unknowns.
time?
Yeah, yeah, you can show
Unknowns,
with unknown. Yeah,
only unknowns. Okay, okay, fine.
yeah.
Let me move ahead so that I can share something interesting. See, what is this? What is this? There are three photographs: some garbage heap, some people, and some construction chambers or like that. What is this? Toilets. So this is totally a junk material, junk observation. So I can't find anything. Has anybody noticed anything in this observation? These photographs. Anybody found anything? I don't find anything. And the best I can do is make it as human, because all are human, all created by human. These garbages, these are the human themselves, and this is a human constructions. So human, and it will go, it will be recorded as human and go to casual grade. It will be changed as human, and the grade will be casual grade. So the junk is removed, and it is now a casual grade observation.
So
So
can we
all these
also
are
use,
part.
yeah, so can we also use
Sorry.
annotations? Can we also use annotations to mark such?
Here, I never tried actually for casual grades. For this was the junk one.
Yeah.
I have annotated those, but that butterfly. So, ठीक है, let me go with another observation. Anything, any new thing for demonstration will be fine. Thing. See this one. This is a spider. Posted as unknown. It is a spider. Is there anybody that spider? I barely have any idea on spiders. It is a spider. So the best I can do is to mark it. Firstly, let me try with AI vision. Nursery web spiders. Often they are correct for spiders. It might be, but I am not confident. I don't know anything about this family. neither this parenthesis genus nor these species of spiders like Oxyoceratitus, I don't know anything about. So what best I can do? I can make array, that is spiders. Sorry, I can write spiders. Done. So the spider, the people interested in spiders can see it now. I can annotate. It appears to be alive. So evidence of presence, organism. Let me mark as organism. Life stage looks like adult. I can give. But one more thing, the for the taxa, you know about the sex or don't know. Please don't annotate as the first option. That is cannot be determined. It is because you may not know, but some other expert may know. So better leave it. So when in doubt, better leave it than marking it as cannot be determined. Only an expert can do this. Otherwise, if you don't know whether it is a male or female, better to leave it unmarked, unannotated. That is the better option. So please handle this sex option carefully. Don't mark it as cannot be determined. This is one of the important part. So spider is done. All these are observations posted in this Asia Nature Challenge, under Asia Nature Challenge.
So I
This is
think
a
we can
butterfly.
we can open for
Okay,
questions from the audience now at the same
please,
time.
please. Let
Yeah.
us.
So anyone wants to ask anything, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask your questions. If you need, we can also I can also show you few more demos of a couple of things, but in the for now, let's open for questions and do some conversation.
How do you like the host plant ID if you find something like a butterfly or moth larva?
Sorry, repeat it.
If you find like a moth caterpillar, then like how do you add the host plant ID?
Okay. So for that, for host plant ID, you need to click the plant itself. Otherwise, you can seek, you can post as caterpillar. But for the host plant, you need to have the characteristics of the plant recorded. That is, its leaves or branch or any characteristic part of it. You can take a photograph of that and post for ID. If you know the plant, that's fine. If you don't know, you can give a note that ID is sought for the host plant. Otherwise, if you only click the larva, you cannot seek its larval host plant. It may not be visible. If there is anything visible from which the identification can be made with respect to the plant, then it's fine. Otherwise, if it doesn't contain only the caterpillar or the larva, it is difficult to seek any identification for that plant. This is what I think.
Do we get a say something a reminder or a ping if there is a request for an identification?
Request for identification means you have posted something
Uh,
and
no,
sorry.
if will there be something like a you can say reminder or a ping or some notification, I would say, for
The
getting my help
notifications are
or
generated, but no. Let us understand the question first. That is, you have observed something, and uploaded in iNaturalist. Fine?
No. What I want to see, ask is, I'm there, and if my help is sought by someone for identification, say I am for
Correct.
mushrooms or I fungi, then will I get an email for that, or will I get a notification for that? Or do I have to search the website?
So, if the observation is posted by somebody else and you are not involved in it in any manner, you have not put your ID there or anything, you won't get anything. You won't get any notification. Say, if your friend has posted some animal, say for instance, one squirrel, and he sent you one email that I have posted so and so animal on iNaturalist and requested ID from you. So you have to uh, do that observation first and open it, and then put your ID. And subsequently, when somebody else agrees or disagrees or comments, you will get notifications. But without your involvement in any manner, you won't get anything from iNaturalist, because iNaturalist uh, sends notification to those persons who actually uh, uploads observation and who actually involves in uh, identification process. Other than that, it is not generated.
Okay, thank
Sir,
you.
You
I
have to
think
be
yeah,
sorry.
I think he was trying to ask, or maybe like, the another way to do is
Uh,
you can tag other people. So if someone has tagged you, then you will get a notification on the iNaturalist
correct,
website and on
correct. That's
iNaturalist
it.
app as well. Yeah. So
Correct,
Yeah, you
they,
correct.
you put it
yeah,
correct. You put it correctly, dear.
Yes,
yeah.
that way.
Yeah,
Tagging,
so they
tagging
have,
also.
yeah. So they have to put at the rate and your username, and then whomever's username I put, that person will get a notification on
But
iNaturalist
in
and
such
also via email.
Yeah,
in such case,
yeah.
that
You
the
you
person
answered
has
it
to have a
to my
the
satisfaction.
person
Thank
has
you.
to have a iNaturalist account. Without having iNaturalist account, you cannot involve yourself in the identification process. That is also
Yes.
important. You can view, you can share, but you cannot involve in the identification process. So tagging won't happen unless you have the account. That is important.
Okay, so now many questions are asking question about mobile app as well, because like not many people are able to use on the website very regularly. So I'll quickly show you how you can do some bit of observations on the mobile. Although the identification section is not fully available on the mobile phone, but still there is a way to do it. So for example, you can see my screen right now. These are few of my recent observations which I've uploaded. And if I go to the section here called Explore, the first section which I get on the slider, I can go here and I can apply filters. So let's say, first of all, I will go here and I will say, I want to search for Asia. So I am searching for all the observations coming from all over Asia from all the times. Now I can go to the filter section again, and I can, let's say, search only for the unknown. So on the top, you see all these icons. They are for the different taxa, whichever is, like you might want to check. So the last one I'm checking, this is for all the unknowns. So let's say if I want to search for all the unknowns which have been uploaded during Asian Asia Challenge. So I can either go to the project section here and I can specify the project, or I can also go to the dates and I can say, let's say, the Asian Asia Challenge started on 18th and the observations went on till 21st. So now this particular thing, if I apply the filters, I will get all the unknowns, either research grade or needs ID between these dates. Now let's say I also want to remove the research grade. So I can uncheck the research grade and I can apply. So this is giving me all the needs ID, all the unknowns between these dates. Now I can go to my first observation, which is being shown here. and I can clearly see that this is one of the plants which is being asked for, but I don't know anything about this plant. I can still go to the second tab here and I can suggest ID. This will give me the computer vision suggestions. So I can select either the suggestion which is coming from the computer vision, because it says that we are pretty sure this is in this genus, and I can select this one and I can click on tick. So this is the way how we can suggest our ID on mobile phone. Now by swiping, we'll go to the next one. What Sir has seen just now, I don't know about this. I can just skip and go to the next one. Now I know that this seems to be a spider. So I can come back here and I can do the identification and mention the spider from here. So it says that this is like, the computer vision is suggesting that it is pretty sure that this is something thread. So I can check this one. So this is a way how we can do identifications on the app. And if you don't know anything about it, in this case, this is sure that this is in this genus, but in case, let's say it doesn't know, and I just want to say that this is a plant. So I can search here for plant and I can select the third option. Always remember that the third option with the photo is important. If you select the first or second one, it might not be taken and it might be taken as a placeholder. So this is a way how you can do identifications on mobile app. Wherever you are comfortable to give a suggestion, you can swipe to that particular one and you can provide your identification. So I hope this is cleared your questions. And you can also see many people provide their suggestions as a placeholder. So I will request not to give as a placeholder. So in this case, you can see that grasshopper is given as the ID by the uploader. And this is given as a placeholder. So instead of placeholder, always provide the suggestion via typing here. So let's say grasshopper was typed by the user. So now you see in the grasshopper, you are getting the second option and third option. The second option will go as grasshopper as a placeholder, but the third one is the real one, as like identification as one of the text identifications which you are providing. So in such cases, I will say never provide identifications in this way, or it is better to provide identification. So here you can see the grasshopper is provided as an unknown category. So if you know some identification, and so for example, let's say the grasshopper is visible here, and I know that this is a grasshopper. So I can provide this identification and I can say this is the grasshopper. But as I said, it is better to not provide it as a placeholder, but provide it as a text. So I'll go back here and maybe let's see what the computer vision is suggesting. Yeah, this is taking the plant, but I want to go with what the uploader has suggested, and I just want to submit grasshopper. So you can see the third option is specially for the grasshopper. So I will select this option and I will do done. So this way, now the grasshopper which is being suggested, you see here, this is the correct way of providing your suggestions here as the identification. If you just want to mention a note, or instead of suggesting as the placeholder, it is better to provide as a note. So when we upload observations, there is a facility of adding a note. So it is better to provide such suggestions as note instead of unidentified placeholder. So I hope this is clear for everyone. How do you do identifications on mobile screen? So if you have any questions, you can ask. Shyam sir, yes, you can add your point.
Yeah, Ram, actually, that particular photograph you are talking about, the grasshopper, should not be zoomed, because the 90% part of that photograph is taken by the plant. So ideally, it should be, because the machine learning and then AI tools is looking it more as a plant, because AI is not zooming and zooming out or in. So the observers here should be crop it either for the plant or for the grasshopper. So that's need to be taken care whenever you are uploading. Maybe some of you already uploaded these kind of the photographs, but for the future, it is always good to crop and then focus only one text rather than confusing the whole AI tool and machine learning tools.
Yes, that's definitely right. So in this case, I took this one picture, but here I have focused, I cropped and I zoomed it. There was another picture which is like this, and there is another person which has even zoomed out version. But this kind of picture is a perfect example of how you should ideally do it. Okay, any other questions?
Yeah.
So for everyone, like, if this, like, for the Asian HA challenge, the identification phase is going on right now. So I can quickly show you how you can do the identification for Asian HA challenge, like using the same way, or, like everything else remains same. It is just that if you want to start doing it now, how can you quickly go to that particular screen is what I can tell you here. So here you can see that I can go to my projects, or I can just search, like, let's say Asian HA challenge here. And in this case, I'm going to this particular project. There are multiple ways how we can go to a project. So let's say I can also go to projects in this section here. Just one second. So I can go to projects here, and then I can search for Asian HA challenge. So I can see this one here. And then once I am into this screen, here you will be able to go to observation section. So there are more than 60,000 observations uploaded, and there is this identify button here, option here. So you can go. Or the other way is you can simply click on the identify on the top, and you can apply respective filters. So in the filter section, you just have to provide Asian HA challenge as your option, and then you can choose which category you are interested in. Let's say I can only like, let's say, do identification of birds, so you can select birds here. Or you just want to do identification of, let's say, unknowns, and provide just the plant and animal. You can click on this option, which is for the unknowns, and then Asian HA challenge is selected. And once you click on update, you will get all these things here. Now, I just wanted to add one more thing, that what you can do is there are a couple of keyboard shortcuts which are available, which will help you to do the identification very quickly. So if you click here, it gives you the option of using these keys, the shortcuts. If you press X, this will mark it as captured or cultivated. If you mark R, this will, check this reviewed option. You can press C or A or I to, like, add ID or agree with observation or comment. You can use arrows to go to next to previous observation. You can use shift plus arrows to go to these tabs, to switch between these tabs, and alt or command plus arrows to go to previous or next photos. So here I see that this looks like a fungi to me. So I can say fungi plus lichen. Or there is also this Z button, which is the shortcut for zoom. So if you want to zoom inside the photos, I'm pressing Z right now, where you can see this happening, going up and down. And I can press I. So this is same as pressing, like this button, add ID. And I can say that I believe this is fungi including lichens, and I can say save. Now I can press the arrow key. This will take me to the next one. So similarly, I can, like, press these keys, and I can go to that particular. So you see this is an unknown right now, but I know that this is a butterfly. So I can press I, and I can say that this is a butterfly. That's all I know about it. I don't know which species is this. So I will just say butterflies is the one which I want to select. I'll press enter. I'll press next key. So this way we can keep going there. Here I can just say this is a plant. I can also say this is also a plant. So this way you can, like, do your observations. Again, you see someone has mentioned Apricus gall as a placeholder here, and this is also provided. So this is a note, and this is a placeholder. So once I provide any ID, the placeholder will go away, and only the note will left. So that's why I was suggesting that you always provide and, like, whatever suggestion you want to mention as a note instead of as a placeholder. So here again I'm pressing I, which is same as pressing here, and then I can say that this is a plant. I just know that this is a plant, so I will select plant, and I can press enter. I can go to next one. So this way we can, like, do identifications very easily. And using these keyboard shortcuts on computer gives you much more power to do it more efficiently and more fast, or quicker. If you find any observation which is a potted plant or anything like that, you can use the X key, or you, like, don't forget to mark it as captive or cultivated. I believe you all are already aware of such cases. So it is very important that we mark them as such. Okay, any other questions by anyone? You can ask, otherwise we can close this session in the next 2 minutes. I'm just trying to find if I can see any captive or cultivated observation. I was finding a lot of them earlier. Yeah, anyway, so I'll stop sharing my screen now, and we'll just wait for any more questions. So we will have the presentation recording uploaded on YouTube very soon, maybe in next 12 to 24 hours. And the link for the recording will be available on the social media of Asian Asia Challenge and also on the website of Asian Asia Challenge. If not, you can write to us. So the email ID for any ANC related work is anc-info@CitizenScience.Asia, and my email ID is I'm also providing my email ID in the chat section. So if you have any questions, you can ask us there. So yeah, thank you very much for being very patient throughout the presentation. I hope you have learned a lot from this. I personally liked a lot of things which were shared by Debashis sir. So thank you very much to Debashis sir for your presentation and for sharing your expertise here. Thank you very much to all the participants for being with us for this session. And also, thank you very much for your participation in Asian Asia Challenge. We will share the updates about ANC after the identification phase is over, which will be on 27th. So all the people who have registered on the website by signing up and filling up the Google form and who have contributed to Asian Asia Challenge by doing either observations or identifications will receive a certificate from our side. If you have any more questions, you can write to us on our email ID, or you can ask us on the social media channels. With that, I would like to close the session formally.